Today we're making sure that when we leave class, we know what a statistical question is and what the mean is. All right? So you'll notice at the top of our notes today, we do have a few vocabulary words that we need to define. All right, so let's make sure this is number 1, starting fresh. All right, so this is 4th 9 weeks material. We still have this week that we'll get a couple of grades in. All right, statistics. Statistics is a branch of math that deals with collecting, organizing, and interpreting data. It's a branch of math that deals with collecting, organizing, and interpreting data. So guys, what that means, what it says, is a branch of math. It's kind of like we talked about algebra. Algebra is math, but it's a specific type of math. Geometry, when we did all those shapes, it's math, but it's a specific type of math. That's what statistics is. It's math, but it's going to be a specific type of math that we're looking at. And in this math, we're going to be collecting, organizing, and we're going to be interpreting data. Now guys, this specific topic is probably the most important thing we do, simply because if you were going to use anything outside of a math classroom, statistics is probably like the number one thing you're going to see. All right? It correlates or matches up really well with science. Can anyone think of when in science, when would you collect, organize, and interpret some data? What would you be doing in science where you might need to do that? Zach?
Looking up on something on the internet.
Okay, you could be doing research. You could be researching by collecting some data, organizing it, and then interpreting it to present. What do you think, Olivia? The scientific method, and you use the scientific method when you're doing an experiment, right? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. That's when you have to come up with a hypothesis, correct? Then don't you have to collect data? You have to organize that data. And then when you interpret it, that's where you're deciding, is this conclusive? Is my hypothesis true? Is my hypothesis false? So, I need a space in the front, please. That would be my collecting, organizing, and interpreting in that scientific method in science. Now, guys, you really do this all the time. When you're hanging out with friends talking, whatever you're talking about, are you collecting information about that? You might not be writing it down, but in your brain, are you kind of storing some of that information about what you're talking about? And then you're organizing it because you probably have a bunch of people saying a bunch of different stuff. And then you're also interpreting that because you're like digesting it to remember it. All right? So,
Especially if it's about sports.
yeah, especially if it's about like all y'all, like especially my guys that know all those sports stats. Guess what stats means? Statistics. All those things you know about like soccer, so like you have to know like what their penalty average is. Is that a thing? I feel like that should be a thing. Like if they get penalized a lot, what their score average is that a thing? Okay, that really is a thing. Okay, thank you. So that's going to be, those are called statistics about that specific sport. I know baseball, I know a little bit more about baseball. You have to know your batting average. Anyone that plays baseball or knows about baseball. All right, those are all statistics, all of those numbers that you talk about in sports, okay? All right, so let's talk about data, because this says we're collecting, organizing, and interpreting it, so data is kind of important. What data is data are the pieces of information and we're going to put here that it is often numerical. It's often numerical. What does the word numerical mean? What do we think the word numerical means? Jet? Like a number. All right, and that's how this is going to relate to math. Now, are there statistics that are not numbers? where it's just information that you're getting? Yeah. All right, but we want to be able to do the numerical data. And sometimes, guys, my data might not be numerical, but I can make it numerical. So, for example, if I'm trying to see how many times I hit the ball, all right, I can keep track of, yes, I hit the ball. That's a number. I'm going to add that to my score. So I'm going to keep up with, this is how many times I hit it, this is how many times I did not hit it. Let's say if I wanted to ask everyone in the school who their science teacher is. All right, are they going to give me a number as an answer? No, but can I keep track of how many students chose Mr. Ragland? Or how many students chose Miss Wright? All right, so even if it's not numerical, sometimes I can create a number from it, okay? All right, so here's the big thing. So this was in our, let's put a little star next to this. This is a big thing. This is what we're doing on our homework. We said at the beginning we need to know what this is. A statistical question is obviously a question. A question that anticipates and accounts, which just means it anticipates them, so it knows they're coming, and then accounts means it keeps track of them. So it anticipates and accounts for a variety of answers. I'm going to underline that word variety. That's going to be really important to us. So a statistical question, it plans for and it keeps track of a variety of answers. What does the word variety mean? Camilla? A lot. What? Keep going, I'm sorry. A lot of different answers. So if I went around and asked all the students at Thompson Sixth Center, is math your favorite subject? All right. Some of them are going to say yes, the good ones. All right. And then some of them are going to say no, the other good ones. All right. So we're going to get yes and no's. All right. Now here's my question. Camilla said variety means a lot of different answers. Is yes and no, they're different answers, correct? But is that a variety? No, we wouldn't consider that a variety because it's not enough different. So let's kind of put here, when we say a variety of answers, let's kind of put here, that means 3 or more. We really want at least 3 answers or more. Because if it's just yes and no, that's not going to give me really a lot of data to look at and interpret. All right? So we'll say 3 or more. Okay? So, for example, if I ask Chris, say, Chris, what color socks are you wearing? All right? Raise your hand if you can tell me. Not what color socks he's wearing. I don't care about that, all right? But if I ask Chris what color socks he's wearing, is that a statistical question? Raise your hand. Can you tell me? Is that statistical? If I say, Chris, what color socks are you wearing? Is that statistical, Owen? No. Do I have a variety of answers? No. Chris is going to look at his feet and say, I'm wearing black socks. Or, oh, I'm wearing gray socks. Or, not wearing any socks today, Miss Sawyer. Okay? So, he's just going to give me one answer, right? What if I asked every student in this classroom, what color socks are you wearing? Raise your hand if you can tell me. Is that statistical or is it not? Javon?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Why is that now a statistical question? Because now I'm going to get a bunch of answers. Like I might ask Gabby. Gabby's going to be like purple. And Maya's going to be like black. Ethan, black. Jason, white. All right? So I'm going to get a bunch of different answers there. And then, are they giving me a number? No. But could I keep track of how many people had purple socks? How many people had black socks? All right? So do you see how even if I'm not getting a number, really I'm going to keep track of that data and find out how many it is. All right? So, what if I asked every student in this classroom, who is your math teacher? Is that a statistical question? Tony? No, why not?
Because there's only one of you, and then if we're just in this class, and it's not who has their own class.
That's correct. Guys, y'all are in math class, so if I'm asking all of my math students who their math teacher is, obviously there's one answer to that question. What if I ask every student in this class who their science teacher is? Is that statistical, Truett?
Yes.
Yes, because now you can tell me Raglan, I can get Miss Stacy, I can get Miss, right? That's 3 or more, so I'm good, okay? Questions about statistical questions. What if I ask every student in here, do you like Michael Jackson's music? Would that be a statistical question? Javon?
Yes, because you get an answer. Well, no, because you get only 2 answers. It's a yes or no question.
Correct. No, because I'm only going to get 2 answers. It's either yes or no, so we would say no. All right. Let's talk about central tendency real quick. So we're going to talk more about central tendency tomorrow. Central tendency. It sounds like it has something to do with the center. The center amount. Do y'all agree with that? All right. So what central tendency is it's a measurement of the center of data. Now, with central tendency, there's actually more than one way to find the center. And we're going to talk about that more tomorrow. But the way we normally find the center of data would be like when I get y'all's test scores. So like when I get your test scores, I'll say like, hey, as a class, y'all did really good because the blank was 85. What did I usually tell y'all when we go over test scores? What am I usually telling y'all? Hunter?
You said the average is like 85.
Mm-hmm. I would tell you like the average is 85. Guys, the average, is it exactly in the center? No. It just means the majority of you scored around that 85 number. All right? I put them all together. All right? So when I find the average, another word for that, what that's actually called, that's called the mean. All right? So next to mean, let's put in parentheses, this is also known as the average. So that's how I come up with that number that I tell you. I'm like, hey, everyone was around this score. All right? Were there still people that scored higher than 85? Absolutely. Were there still people that scored lower than 85? Absolutely. All right? But the average, that just kind of tells me kind of near the center. Where did the majority of my students score close to? Okay? So the way that we're going to find this, so the mean is the average. The average is the mean. They're the same. All right? Owen, do you have a question for me?
I was going to say a way to say something for me is the average amount of students are 11, 12, and 13.
Okay, so I could say, and in fact, instead of saying the average age of students is 11, 12, or 13, I would probably just pick that middle one and say the average 6th grade student is 12. Okay, because most of us are 12, and if we're not 12, we're probably going to turn 12 very soon. Okay, so that's the average. Guys, are there still people in the 6th grade younger than 12?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so the average, it's just about in the middle. All right. Let's talk about how to find it. So to find the average, you're going to add all the numbers and then, oopsie, misspelled and. That's pretty bad. And divide by the amount of numbers. I'm going to put a star next to this because that was the other thing we wanted to be able to do today. So you're going to add all the numbers and you're going to divide by the amount of numbers. That's how you're going to find out what the mean is. And we're going to practice that in just a little bit, okay? So let's go ahead and look at some of these examples. We want to state whether it's statistical, and then it says we have to explain. Now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and spoiler alert real quick, okay? On your homework, you don't have to explain. I'm not going to make you explain on your homework. But why would it be so important that I explain it in my notes? Why would that matter to me? Hunter?
Because if you don't know, you can double check.
If you don't know, like if I just put yes, no, and then I'm working on my homework and I don't know why I put it there, I need to be able to go back to my notes and say, why did I say yes? Why did I say no? So I need to have that written down. Are we okay with that? All right. So for number 1, it says, who is the first president of the United States? Remember, we're not answering the question. We're not answering the question. We're just saying, is this statistical, yes or no? And explain for me. Tony?
No.
No? Why?
Because at the time, there's only one president.
Mm-hmm. There's only
no
one.
Options of it. Because you're asking who was the first president.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not asking how many presidents were there.
Okay.
First.
That's perfect. So there's only one option here. The first president, we should all say the same thing if we know anything about history. So, no, because there is only one first president. Let's be very specific about our answers here. So I don't want to just put no, there's only one answer. We're going to say no, there's only one first president here, because that's just being a little bit more specific. And remember, you don't have to do this on your notes, but we do want to be as specific as possible your homework, but we want to be as specific as possible on our notes, okay? All right, number 2 says, what are the admission prices to each of the state parks in Kentucky? Truett, what do you think? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so we're saying yes, it's statistical. Why?
Because it's talking about a lot of state parks.
And the different parks are going to have
Different prices.
different prices. So I'm going to say yes, different parks. Now, could they have the same price? Maybe. So I'm going to say different parks may have different prices. Because that kind of, when I put that word may in there, that means they could be the same, but they could also be different. All right? All right, Jet, you ready for number 3? Question. Yes, sir.
So on the homework, can we just put yes or no?
On the homework, the directions are going to be very clear. They will say yes or no. It does not say to explain. Okay? On number 3, what is the height of the tallest water slide at Wild Rides Water Park? Is this statistical, yes, or no? What do you think, Camilla?
No.
No? Why is this not statistical?
Because when we're talking about the water slides.
We're only going to talk about the one. What if I said, what is the height of all the water slides at Wild Rides Water Park?
Yes.
That would be statistical. Because I'm just asking about the tallest, there is one ride. So go ahead, please. There's only one tallest water. Go ahead. Slide. I think that was supposed to be one word. Sorry. Okay. There's only one tallest water slide. Okay. All right. Number 4. How much time do the students in my school spend on the internet each night? Yes or no? Kaylin. Everybody's different, so they're going to spend different amount of time. Some people might have that time taken away for some reason. Some people, parents, might let them spend as long as they want, as long as they're making certain grades. All right, so we're going to say yes, because different students spend different amounts of time. That one was a little long. All right, Maribel? Yes, may spend different amounts of time. That's awesome. Because some of them might spend the same, right, Maribel? Awesome. I love including that word. That's great. All right, so now we're going to switch gears. So we did statistical questions. Are there any questions about statistical questions? All right, I'm the only one that found that entertaining, I guess. All right, so now we're going to switch gears and we're going to do mean. Did you have a question, Jet? Okay, yes, sir.
Statistical question, if there's like more than like one, is yes.
3 or more. 3 or more. Because remember, yes and no, that can't be statistical because it's just 2 options. So think of it like statistical questions are like the Skittles of math. All right? We want a variety of answers. And Skittles have a variety of flavors and colors. Yeah. All right. Okay, so number 1 says determine the mean. So you might have to come back up here. Remember, we wrote out here, it says add the numbers and divide by the amount of numbers, okay? So on number 1, to find the mean, what's the first thing I need to do? Truett? Add them up. So I'm going to add them up. What do I get when I add up all of those numbers? When I add them up, what do I get? Javon? 57. Okay? Then it says divide by the amount of numbers. So now what do I need to do? Sean? Divide it by 5. Sean, where did you get 5 from? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Are we okay with that? Okay. What does my calculator give me when I do that? Hunter? 11.4. Now, guys, I want us to look very carefully over here. It says round to the 10th. What is the 10th place? What place would that be in a number? Jet? It's where the 4 is. It's that first decimal place, right? Guys, is there anything else after that 4? No. So do I need to round this at all? No, that's my answer. If this was a whole number, would I need to round it at all? No, because it wouldn't even have a 10th place, so I couldn't do anything. Done. All right? So the only time you need to round, this is for when you have like a long decimal, okay? Are you all okay with that? All right. So let's look at number 2. Number 2, what do I need to do first on number 2? Sorry, let's go back down. Number 2, Kelsey? Add them up. So we got to add them up. What do we get when I add them up? Amaya? 601. Perfect. And now what do I need to do? Now what do I need to do? Anahi, what do you think? Divide by? Close. Be careful on your counting. What am I going to divide by here? Carlos? 7, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. I think you just left out one when you were counting. All right? So when I divide that, what does my calculator tell me? Camilla? 7, 4, 286. Okay. All right, that might not, I think there was a 1 in there somewhere. I don't know. Okay, that might not be perfect. So 2, 4, wasn't it like 1, 2?
No, it was 1, 4, 7, 1, 4.
Oh, 1, 4, 2. Okay, sorry. Okay. Doesn't really matter because it says to round to the 10th place. So guys, where did I want this number to stop? Someone tell me, where should this have stopped? Carlos? At the 8. Do y'all agree? Right there. I'm going to draw a line. That's where I wanted it to stop. Did it stop there? No. But knowing where to stop, that's like a big part of your rounding, okay? Are y'all okay with how I drew the line? All right. So now, guys, I'm going to look on the other side of the line. I'm going to just kind of draw an arrow. This 5 next door, it controls what's happening to the 8. Do y'all agree with that? 5 or more means raise the score. If it's 4 or less, the number will let it rest. So in this case, my 5, when it controls the 8, is my 8 going to have to raise the score? Or is my 8 going to let it rest? What are we going to do here? Kelsey? It's going to raise the score because it's 5 or more, raise the score. So I'm going to put 85 point, not 8, but 0.9. All right, guys, rounding is a huge part of statistics. And I've noticed this year that some of us are still struggling with our rounding. All right? If you know that you're having trouble, put that line there. And then if you still need some help, I'll be happy to look at it with you. But when you come up, the first thing I'm going to look for is your line, your work, which in this case would be the line. Are we okay with that? So, guys, you notice I put what I got when I added, and I put what I divided by. What I got when I added, what I divided by. Do I need to see that on your work tonight? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to pass that out, and then we're going to look at a couple together. All right. If we have some time. So I'm going to pass it out. Let's give me number 2. It is front and back. Now remember, you have to explain on your statistical questions. No, you can just write yes or no. On your mean, you got to show me what you get when you add, and you got to show me what you're dividing by, okay? Oh, I thought you had your hand up. You're stretching. Yeah, I see that. All right, hey, I need for the rest of us to focus, okay? Don't take my limelight, okay? It's really important to me that I'm the only one in the center of attention. I don't like sharing my spotlight. I do love you, but not enough to share. All right. Okay. Hey guys, y'all want to look at a couple of these, I'm sure, together. So let's focus real quick, okay? All right. Okay.
This song.
Yes.
I didn't do it.
Did the people behind you get one?
Yes.
Okay. All right, here you go. Y'all please make sure Antoine gets one. All right. Number one. Number one says, how many cars are in each driveway on your street? Is this statistical? Camilla? Yes. Why? It's talking about each driveway. Is it asking about your driveway? No, it's saying on the street that you live in, if you go down and count the cars in the driveways, some will have 1, some will have 2, some might have 4, depends on how many people are driving, okay? So yes, this is statistical because you're going to get different answers. How many people think Elvis is the best singer? How many people think Elvis is the best singer? Tony? No. Because, guys, this is just one answer. How many people think he's a good singer? You're going to have one number for that question.
And it's a yes or no question.
And it's a yes or no question, too. So it's just how many people. All right? Number 3. How many boxes of candy did each student sell? Hunter?
No.
How many boxes of candy? Yes, because different students are going to sell different amounts of candy. So that would be yes. All right? Okay. You're fine. How many cities had more than 2 inches of snow? How many cities had more than 2 inches of snow? Kelsey? All right, so Kelsey, you were correct. Don't let them sway you. Kelsey was correct. She said no. So Kelsey, can you explain to us why you said no? Because you had a lot of people telling you yes. Why did you say no? It's one number. It's just how many cities had more than 2 inches. So like when the weather people come out and they like check to see how much snow people got, they're just going to count up how many cities got more than 2. It's going to be one number. Does that make sense? If they ask how much snow did each city get, now that's a bunch of different answers. But this is just saying how many got more than 2 inches. Okay. Columbiana, Pelham, and Hoover. 3 cities. That's it. We would just name them, okay? Camilla? Next one. Okay, sorry. How many girls are in your class? Guys, be very careful. This says class. Just one class. Camilla? No. What if it said how many girls are in each of your classes? Yes, but because it's asking about one class, we would say no. All right? Let's flip it over real quick. Let's do the first one, okay? Number 1, we're finding the mean. What do I need to do first? First step, Truett. Add them up. So add them up, someone, for me. What do we get when we add them? What do we get when we add them? Quickly, we're trying to beat the bell. Anyone got them added for me, Kelsey? 101, is that what you got, Nahi? Oh, got some different answers. What did you get, Anahi? 186? 586. What did you get, Truett? Okay. Okay, after you add them up, what are you going to divide by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So guys, get this answer, add them up, and then you're going to divide by 8. And get your answer, write it on the blank. Yes. You think Kelsey was right? Okay. 101, Kelsey was right. So 101 divided by 8, try that out.